Good morning, Namaskar. Your friend back to you, Engineer Suraj Singh, NP Bharat, India. Also designated per chartered engineer, as well as FIE fellow of Institution of Engineers. And talking to you about something usually, in respect of, what I say, in respect of projects and in respect of buildings, industrial plants. And my friends, good morning back to you. This is Engineer Suraj. Well, not very, you can say famous name, but ordinary name. You can assume me as your real friend in profession. And this is January 25th, 2021. Early morning, very cold here in Faridabad, near Delhi. I am located towards south from Delhi. That is about 8 kilometers, and it is very cold. 100% humidity. 100% humidity where 6 degrees temperature, 6 degrees Celsius. In month of January, I'm just sitting because early morning signals are better than some other time. So I am now to talk to you about what I think of industrial work in engineering construction. Engineering construction, I say, that is something you can say very solid. There was a time when construction was done normally, with stones, when there were no bricks. Stone masonry, we used to call it stones. There were many types of stone masonries, many classes like random rubble, ordinary. Means you have to take out stones, cut to some requirements, or just naturally you put them or you fix them. You build them with walls, very thick walls, of course, with lime mortar. Lime mortar, which is very old technique. You can say if you go to centuries back, you go visit centuries back, you will find that lime, which is very important material, which was very important material for construction purposes. It has some, pozolytic action is there, means very, very long term action lime imparts to structure. And all old structures throughout world were done by lime. In fact, today also, directly or indirectly, you may say we use lime, though it's not used, we say it is cement. But cement is just a name. Purpose of cement is to join two materials together. It's that purpose only. Still there is about 2/3 lime in cement, and there is silica content in that, lime and silica. And silica is like sand or natural available material in soil. And also you can say lime, which is calcium carbonate. And there are many other materials available in cement. Cement generally we used to call OPC in beginning, that is ordinary Portland cement. In beginning it was very effective material to replace lime. Yet we say lime has been replaced, but manufacturing of cement is done by lime itself. So practically and in acceptance we can say that we have not been able to replace lime because cement constitutes two-thirds lime approximately, with silica and many chemicals with it are added for purpose of making it a construction cementing product. Then we got other materials like SRC, that was called surface resistant cement, because soil all over world had certain sulfate contents and resistance to those contents was required because sulfate affects foundations, it affects concrete, it affects also mortar, and due to availability of water you can say it causes further complications in structures. So SRC was used that could encounter impact of sulfates available in soil, and because foundations remain in contact with soil, so it could be harmed, foundations could be harmed and were harmed. So SRC was manufactured to encounter that. But later on SRC did not stand very long duration because many more techniques appeared, like fly ash availability, fly ash use, or also you can say many materials, granular materials. For example, you can say GGBS. So materials came up, microsilica you can also say. Microsilica is silica itself. You can say silica fumes, which is very you can say advanced material, really speaking. It means silica fumes, and size of fume. Fume, like for example smoke, there is smoke. What is size of a smoke particle? I think lesser than that being size of silica fumes. Silica fume, which is very small size, and it has so much capability that it can coat particles of cement that we produce. Silica fumes, trade name is microsilica. I'm talking of silica fumes, technical property name. Silica fumes are fumes produced by silica material, and this fuel particles in suspension in air can coat themselves on particles of cement, and that is beauty of this. It captures particle of cement individually, and when you use this in construction, post vibration reaction happens, and until vibration is done this remains suspended, all even though concrete is mixed, but cement particles that should bind aggregate, and all aggregates that should bind remain in suspension because of availability of silica fume and coating of silica fume particles on cement particles. The concrete product can remain in suspension for a couple of hours. That's what I have understood. I don't have complete details of that. I'm just referring to you what it is. And then also came GGBS. So we have cement, OPC, then we had SRC, and then we had, you can say, fly ash, PFA we call it, pulverized fly ash, which is also cementing, a kind of, you can supplementing cementing material that supports cement to get cement, or to inculcate into cement additional properties, so that it's not pure OPC, it is OPC based on certain supplementing mix, and that's a property change. So we call it PFA cement. Pulverized fly ash, but pulverized fly ash certain limitations, because there is a grounding limit. This metal cannot be ground to requirement. If you require how many percent, what size of grinding be done, there's a limit to that, and that's why there's a limit of its use in concrete material. Of course, it's available, there is no problem, it can be used, it's plenty available and people use it and it imparts pozzolanic action also like lime provides. Then we talk of microsilicate solvents, you can say silica fumes. That's been used. I use this material concrete in 80s, I think 90s, and it was excellent. Well, when you use PFA or you use silica fumes, SRC is not required because these materials provide properties of SRC as well in concrete. And silica fumes, you can say even if up to 3%, 4% of cement or 9-8% of cement, that is plenty one to be included, but it is very expensive. But it provides excellent properties to concrete against corrosion and against, you can say, it provides durability to concrete, or you can say concrete can act as a reliable material to an extent when OPC is added with percentage of silica fumes. It gets excellent property, and you can say durability of concrete is increased, service value of concrete is increased, safety in designs and works are increased, and that's we can say. Then comes GGBS, that is ground granulated blast furnace slag, which is currently very important material because this is controlled grinding control. Grinding can be done to your requirement, not like PFA, means you can ground it to whatever size, and this blast furnace slag acts very, you can say, very good material, very reliable material in combination of OPC, means you can replace OPC if you use GGBS or if you use if you use PFA, but there is a limit that in PFA case, so 25 to 30% maximum is permissible to be replaced. I mean, you can replace cement up to that value. More than that, there is no use. But when you use GGBS ground granulated blast furnace slag, you can replace it up to 80%, even though generally we use maximum 70% to replace OPC. So in fact, you say when you use GGBS or PFA, OPC is not true OPC, it is replaced OPC. In case of PFA, we can replace 1/4, or in case of GGBS and PFA are used as supplementing cementing materials. When they come in contact with OPC and all that, they work as cementing material. Otherwise, independently, they do not work as cementing materials. That is only a difference. OPC is a cementing material, SRC was a cementing material, PFA and GGBS are not cementing material but supplementary cementing material, because when they are used together by replacement, they do same thing as cement does. Independently, these do not work like that. So that is difference. So we moved far from lime, stone age to lime. I mean, brick also came into picture. Brick, which is also clay material. Remember, brick is clay itself, and it had been used for many decades, and before that for centuries stone was used. And there's a difference now. Clay, we say brick is clay. I'm not supporting bricks because bricks are not available in considerable quality. Quality of bricks is, you can say, not to mark as it should be. We don't have excellent quality of bricks, except if bricks are made by machines, but that is limited. If you the kiln bricks, means that you won't find that class as we used to study first class bricks or second class bricks or third class bricks or Java bricks. Whatever we used to study then, that bricks we got from kiln. First class bricks is not available for, they may call bricks are first class, but you just inspect that brick, you will not find any properties contained in that. What should be size, tolerance, what should be composition of brick, and what porosity it should have, how many hours water it should be, quantity of water absorption, all that you won't find, and there's so many impurities also available. So bricks is different material, though it's excellent material if used correctly, machine when bricks have higher strength and long durability. But if you remember, we used to construct very not very permanent houses, like a mud mortar we used in bricks long back in our villages, also in cities as well. It's a temporary work, but later on lime mortar was used. And you can say even flooring was not done like we do today, cement floor or some other floor. It was done in clay floor. You used to call it, clay floor. It was in walls are plastered with clay and mix up. So clay, which is very, you can say, very important material for construction, for purpose of, you can say, thermal transfer, not for strength. Clay cannot be used for purpose of strength. It's used for purpose of thermal conductivity or thermal insulation. Clay's property is that, it's, you can say, what you call it, refractory material. Refractory clay is refractory material. It can withstand highest degree of temperature as well as a cold. So in when it is cold, clay resists that and it provides some better environment. So clay property was used in villages, and we could not understand that time, but technically it was such a product. You can say people used to have its better quality for their livings, and of course it required maintenance, but it was not very expensive and they could themselves. So I'm just referring to you about this material because clay has different property in our structural system. Because all generally major areas of world are used for foundations, and they are clay strata, which doesn't suit good foundations. Clay strata, it may be silt strata. Okay, sandy strata can be used in certain circumstances, which are better, and also soft rock or medium rock or high strength rock are used as founding materials that are everywhere, and these are done. As we say, founding materials, I mean to say, a foundation base is foundation rests on instead of clay, which is not suggested, which is not all acceptance or no acceptance different. If there is no choice, you have to accept it, provided certain conditions are met. Settlement is avoided, unequal settlement is avoided, and we have to make sure that water does not reach foundation base or also in formation level. Water is kept away, because if water comes in contact with soil below foundation, it has a tendency to swell clay, and clay if swollen, upheaval can happen, upheaval of building foundation. Or when water is dried out, there can be settlement, unequal settlement, water dries out, and there is shrinkage in clay material, which can also result in heavy losses to foundation and building itself. So I'm just giving you example, just to move in engineering world. We have clay, we have silt, we have sand, which is silica as well, and we have, you can say, rocks, various types of rocks. These are general material. Preference is given to that material which is, you can say, graded one, granular one, for foundations and for fills. Granular material are always better. Graded granular material, you can say, where there is defined grading, as well as granular material, which are above size of clay, above size of silt, and say sand, gravels, like this angular one. And you can say those material particles, those aggregate particles interlock together. Interlocking of particles, and dense packing both support, you can say, foundation formation strata. Interlocking means it increases friction, it increases capacity of soil, and when packed together, well densified, and you can say much density, as much as density given with interlocking, that much resistant soil gets in. You can say bearing capacity of soil is increased. In clay case, bearing capacity doesn't work to that level because clay cannot be packed, cannot be densified, also silt. Sand can be well packed if it's suitable and it's a well grading. So clay problem always exists. Wherever you find clay and you have no choice in that, of course you cannot change whole strata because you have certain limitations, and you have to then adjust with clay formations with certain improvement, and that improvement we name as soil improvement. I'm just reminding you what we have to do in engineering. This is very plain statement I'm making. It's nothing to do with detailed calculation. What I am just referring is that what is engineering world, and particularly civil engineering. What is engineering world is a question here to be considered. Engineering world. Engineering is our life, in fact, to be saying. Medical is our maintenance of life in health, but engineering is our life for everything. One may agree, one may not agree, that doesn't make anything. That engineering is, of course, our lives, and without that, we can't move anything. It may be accepted, it may not be accepted, it doesn't make any difference because life we are living in is based on development. Now, there is no way that you don't need a building to live in. Everybody needs a building all over the world. There are thousands and thousands of buildings all over the world, lakhs and lakhs you can say. But are those buildings really quality building? That is a point to be understood and to be considered. I am just giving a background only, but my talk is restricted to systematic quality. Systematic quality. When I point out to say systematic quality, it means something. Quality has very wide definition. It doesn't mean who specifies that, who defines that. You have to think for that. Thinking to know something is also a quality in itself. We say, oh, you think something and then do. And we say, okay, you do it. There's a lot of difference in that. You think and do means that is called scientific mechanism, and you just do not think, and that is called baseless mechanism, which has got no basis. System means first you understand something. If you know that what that thing, what that item is, what that material is, you know much about that, you can use that material in best way after analyzing its property and what is analysis of your requirement. Both should match. But if you blindly use some material, then you cannot get what answers you wanted, what response you sought from that material, you won't get. Engineering is based on materials. We say use this material for certain purpose. That is called engineering principle. Engineering is not in my hands nor in your hands. It is in the hands of resources. Resources are available. Human resource, you can say material resource, machine resource, and other knowledge resources. We have. These resources have been developed in their knowledge, and we have to use that knowledge for purpose of engineering. This is what engineering says: use of materials or use of natural wealth according to your requirement and with minimum cost and maximum benefit, optimum cost you can say, and for long duration this material should serve. Which means we should not abuse natural wealth, because that wealth is also limited and it is to be used by all world. So engineering is then can be defined in very different way, that you have to think of everything, not only something. You have to think of materials, you have to think of human resources, you have to think of techniques, and you have to think of major principal materials. And also you have to think of response of building to that material, response of technology to that material. All these points must be considered while doing engineering, which itself is related to power of mind. Engineering is related to power of mind, and that's why there is difference with everybody's work. If one person works in one way, other person works in another way, and third person works in further another way. That is where mind application works. In engineering, one answer can be given in many poses. You can say, if I design something, I do my own, you design something, you design your own, and both are different, but ultimate destination is same. Engineering means use of mind. I always say engineering is very simple to be defined, that use of mind. Use of mind in such a way that you get results, best results, and that is what engineering is. It's not books we say that's book of engineering, that's okay, there are subjects, but engineering in its basics is that you have to think. You are forced to think. It's not your will, it's not your desire, but you have to think. Think is not one time, not two times, unlimited times you have to think. Every time you work, you have to think. You work even already worked, you have to think. You start something new, you have to think. You have to reject something, you have to think. You have to accept something, you have to think. And you have to, promote something, you have to think. Or you have to innovate something, you have to think. You have to write something in engineering, you have to think. I can say, think is engineering. Think gives you a conception, and also when you get conception, you think on that conception. So it's both ways. It is origin, it's minus, it's plus. It's ordinate, it is abscissa. It is three dimensions, it's everything. That is what I say engineering is all about. Engineering has no limit. Engineering involves all subjects to whatever percentage in that respective question. Engineering is that you have to use your mind, and engineering mind is always important. Those who are engineers already qualified, if you know power of their mind, I think they themselves do not know power of their mind. If they use their mind according to their knowledge, they can do a lot. But generally, when you get job, you are occupied, you have different approach in life, because you are not independent there. You are bound to do work according to demand made to you, and you have to succeed in that. If you do really engineering, then I don't have explanation for that, because only education is not engineering, and only experience is also not engineering. Engineering is knowledge based experience, and then refining same knowledge which you learned. When you come out of university after passing engineering examination, you are very much original person, you are very much raw person who has studied books but got no experience. That person can be molded to any shape, three-dimensional or two-dimensional. That person who is a qualified engineer, or I can call him engineering student, that person can be molded, but that molding is required. Who is molder there? Who is a casting person there? And that person is an engineer. But other point is that if you think engineering can give you a lot in your life, it will not give you a lot. It will give a lot of knowledge in your life. If you really want to work as an engineer, then you have to adjust your knowledge. You had to adjust your ethics. Means if you just run behind capturing money, that ethic is not ethic. That is hunger for money. Engineering never allows hunger for money because engineering is purely mechanically oriented and mathematically done. You can say it's process of mind originally 95% which is, and that is engineering, why 5 to 10% mind is used on actual production, and that is called site engineering or factory engineering. I'm not saying that I'm speaking something very specific. We are just trying to understand what actually which field we are working in, because engineering broadest field is civil, broadest field. I'm not supporting anything else, I'm just saying because you have to start everything from gate of civil engineering. You may be in whatever profession, you may be in whatever engineering discipline, but your entry starts from gate, and that is civil engineering. You cannot deny this fact. Nobody can deny this fact. If you deny this fact, you are at wrong step. You can't deny this fact. It's also true that those people who only think that academics in engineering can help development and can help practical world, that is to some extent right, not to whole extent. 10%, 15% maximum. Engineering education is beneficial, but when you are in field, in whatever discipline of field, you can say designs, planning, prosecution, whatever, quantity surveying, in whatever field of discipline in civil engineering you work, you will find everything sometimes new and new and new to your knowledge. If it is not new to your knowledge, this means you are doing septic work. Septic work means you have nothing to get more. You are just moving on past, and moving on past cannot be called engineering. Engineering is sometimes defined as every day you perform and learn more and more. Maybe something you are not clear about, but others know. Those engineering documents that we receive in fields are not book documents. Those are work documents. And you get designs, drawings, you get all drawings in field and all documents filled, but you do not know what is there. Then you study those documents and you come to know if there is something you could learn from them by just design drawings or by execution world or by specifications or by whatever. You come abreast and you learn that, and if you cannot learn, then you cannot be called engineer, because engineer always remains a student of engineering forever. Engineer is engineer, but first you are engineering student, because you are learning how to know, how to understand engineering and how to apply that in field. I have met many personalities who rarely talk of this. Rarely. Engineering is meant for, you can say, stronger destinations. Every project is destination. Every project. But fortunately, engineering civil is one that is mother of destinations. Without engineering in field, you cannot do anything else. That is pride of civil engineering. And civil engineering, if you take in true sense, It is most difficult as well as most easy engineering. Because we can say, like a tailor, what tailor does? Tailor stitches and produces clothes. First, tailor measures what is required from user, then cuts according to its designs and stitch what is required. And then those textiles are converted to clothes. I say that is engineering. So, tailor designs, tailor cuts and stitches, and then that material is used. Same thing here. We know about material, very little we know, then we try to know more and more when we get this material from remotest areas, and we are lucky that we get them regularly. And that is what we say after getting that raw or unused material, or even similar smaller size material, and we use that for purpose of construction, and that is what is engineering originally. Because no building means you can't do anything. There should be some, you can say, room for everybody to use, and even if it is a small room, it is building, or it's a big palace, it's a building, it's a big airport, it's a building. So you can understand what I mean to say. Actually, I wanted to share document today, but I thought, no, let us talk first, because engineering is different world where people do not talk all time, and if they talk, they cannot concentrate on something. If you want to talk something about professional work, about profession that I am in, or that you are in, or others, or who are not in, but they know what about this. Then we have to concentrate ourselves on some topic, some issue, though that may not be that much important for all, but that could be very important for me, for you in field. When I was young, I could not understand meaning of civil engineering in analytical form. I know what is civil engineering, I knew that. But when I was saying civil engineering in analytical form, in a way analysis is done, every engineering has to be analyzed. That's also important from learning point of view. It's not that somebody tells me and I accept that. Yes, I have to accept that because somebody can be my teacher. But every student has a right to question. Same I have, same you have. That right must be used, and that right gives you knowledge. It's not that I'm just raising question because I want to know answer. I raise question because I don't know answer and I expect answer to come, but in a way of engineering, not in a way of some diplomatic language. No. Because engineering is very old. Very old. And I say engineering is not too old, but it started with when this universe was created. Before that. You may be astonished I'm saying that, but fact is that whole universe is engineering product. Whole universe is engineering product. And just think of before this whole universe, what would have been there? When there had been no universe, what would have been there? That's the point that closes my mind, that closes my tongue and my eyes. What question he is asking? It has not been discovered till now, it has been known till now how this world was constructed, how this universe was constructed. But it has been done. It was done, and nobody knows that date when it was done. This means engineering origin is unknown. Yes, we should say engineering origin is unknown. So, if this world has been existing for billions years, this means engineering is billions years old. Yes, it is. It's not old or new. It was something started long before. Yeah, this means something is very old. So what we can understand in small period of our life, we cannot understand this. I don't know how many times I might have come to earth to know this, or you might have been there. Now this is very, you can say, developed age, and we have lot of information. But I can conceive about origin, that before this world was created physically, there might be a time when mathematics could evolve, sciences could evolve, technologies could evolve, which could lead to current Earth, or current solar system, or current Brahmand. That is possibility. But how could mathematics be evolved at time? How could science be evolved at time? Of course it was evolved, and maybe in higher mechanism, automation, that time. Otherwise I can't even think how could these planets be constructed. After all, these are physical entities. How could this be constructed in some elliptical or circular spherical shape? Well, that we should link our understanding to that point. How could it be without any availability of science? Though that is not known, yet it is fictitious to assume that something was done. So I could say our knowledge, our maths, our calculation world has been much before commencement date of this, you can say, any time, whatever time. If you go back, imagine there is nothing today. Where shall we be there? We shall not be there. Of course, if there is nothing today, we shall not be there. This means it is construction of universe that because of which we are here. I'm sorry to say sometimes I slip things because of thinking, but what to do? I am intellectual, very small intellectual. I am not saying very big intellectual because of my thinking process, because of educational process, because of experience. Everybody can be defined in some category. My category is very small, but thinking is my weakness. I have to think. Well, I cannot sleep without thinking. I cannot get up without thinking. Only maybe in dream, which is not my domain, I cannot think. Otherwise, I can think there also. Some people like singing, some people like dancing, some people like something, and I like thinking. Thinking is my food of mind, and thinking means engineering. So, food of mind is engineering. I like those who think, because it is something for which you don't have to go to any shop. You don't have to bring some material. You have to bring some material just to do whatever you're thinking. So thinking is something very, very super. See something and then do something is different. It's your reference material. But thinking is a material invisible, located in your mind. So when I think, I say I should think for everything. It's not this thing or that thing. We have to think for everything that is involved in our activity. Our activity, which is our activity? Well, whatever activity it is. When we plan, in construction, we say activity list is required, and activity list depends on what construction we are going to do. Every project got certain activities, and those activities we have to think about. If we want to think in details, we have to think in details of activities. If we want to think in superficially, then we have to think in gross. Post qualification of your education, you must use your mind in such a way that automatically what you think about that item would tell you, teach you. God has made us in such a structure that if you start doing something or thinking something, more and more knowledge is given to you. Maybe people do not feel, but knowledge keeps coming. We don't even know when knowledge has come because it comes invisibly. And those who can see that it's coming, they are better than those who sleep. So knowledge that we get, that knowledge is sleep mode. Sleep mode, and that mode must be recognized well. I again say God constructed this world, whole world. I am really astonished way in which these were created. We cannot jump 2 meters or 2 feet. We can't jump 40, 80, 60, 70 centimeter and don't allow some to fall, but we automatically fall with our this knowledge wire is broken. This world is based on lot many calculations which we have not realized. We think, oh, who cares for that boy who was supported by his parent. No, it's supported by universe. Universe provides you land. Universe provides you all resources like water, air, soil, earth, and you are living. We should understand that from where that engineering started. If today somebody asks me, can you construct one earth? I'll become mad. Yes, but I'm a civil engineer. Madness is not my quality. My quality is help nature if you want to help yourself. That's true. Mathematical era, science era, all must have been worked out before start of physical planets. I am relating all this universe to civil because really it was sometimes constructed, that's why they are there. We are a part of solar system. Which system is being worked out, being understood by everyone. If today I conceive that I can construct another earth, can somebody believe? Nobody shall believe. It's not possible, I know. This means something is beyond our imagination and beyond our capacity, and that is right. That's right. We cannot even bring a part of sea into our home, into our state, because that's a part of imagination. part of calculations. Those who think life is different, I think life is very same. Our thoughts are different. We have so much developed in engineering now, and there's the people who are well qualified in engineering. Imagine I want to create one earth. Can I? Can I or can we think of that? Answer is no. Answer is no. It's not possible. But I would say, I'm not saying it's not possible. It is conceivable. It may not be possible, but it is conceivable. I always am surprised, really. I'm always surprised. See volume of Earth. See volume of other planets. From where this material could be sourced? From where? And then how could these plants are precast or these are in situ or what they are? I can't say. But they are very well organized, systematically working all time. We can't work, but they are working. This means they are the kind of automatism. We are talking of automatism now because we got some computers, but we forget that already there are computers in the air for maybe computers. And we have all countries different history with UNO as well. Civil engineering should be understood in its entirety and not only in civil subjects. Entirely understanding civil engineering is innovative way of understanding because then you think world belongs to you. When you think world belongs to you, you treat world differently. We may accept, we may not accept, but sometimes we are product of this world, universe, and we use universe indirectly. And we use it continuously, irrespective of, or we please to accept it or not to accept it. Even if we don't accept it, we have to stay here. Or if you accept it, fine, that's okay. Before, I did not think like this because I was material oriented in engineering itself, material oriented, not thought oriented. And people are still 98% people are like me. No. Civil engineering requires basic work. Basic work. If you are civil engineer, keep your heads high. Original thinking is very much important for intelligent. If you don't think originally, you cannot only copy and paste. Life has become so complicated that engineers have stopped thinking engineering, unfortunately. They think politics, they think only money, they think only development without basis. How it is possible? All over world, civil engineering has come down generally because money is also an important factor nowadays. But civil engineering cannot give you money. It is high profile engineering. It's an engineering branch, you can say, what we think is far more than that, much more higher than that. We may say, we may not say, but it is much more higher than that. I say, as usual, I can't sit continuously for longer time, yet I should help myself, and that's the only way I can do. Of course, I'm talking about engineering, but my views and your views can be different or can be same as well. That who can decide? No one will decide. There is no referee here. It's only your analytical talk or my analytical talk with certain contemplation, I can say, not even answers. Contemplation. That's what I'm saying. I'm fed up with my health problem. I see it's around 45 minutes, 1 hour. I'm sitting and I can't sit continuously, can't stand continuously. And that is my problem, So I was tired actually. I'm just relaxing with my leg down. Sorry for that. Now, I can say, as I said about engineering world, it's not that easy. I think or you think. It's God's mechanism. I think there is no professional in either field. In every field, you can say who can match God. There was a time that scientists still they differ, still they argue, but fact also remains that there is no substitute that can challenge, that can replace a natural power. There's no such person in this world, and there won't be one. Because I'm interested in nature, and I'm interested in you can say, I'm interested in what I should say, civil construction, civil designs, and how to make life of world better. It's not confined to my country as well, because my country is geographical part of world, but also integrated part of world. Earth cannot be friction, earth cannot be converted to pieces as people have converted countries. That is physical being, but if you say, if you accept it, you have to accept it, that world is one unit, earth is one unit. See, I am talking something which is in deepest mode of engineering. World, earth is one unit of planetary system. You can say, for in fact, there is no country. Fact is that in reality there is no country. Whole world is one. There is no even separation by waters. Waters could not separate us. Waters cannot separate continents. Continents are also imaginary. Sea is also imaginary. There is only one water body. There is only one solid body. Water body is sea and ocean, and rivers, while solid body is continental part which is integrated also. You can say solid part of earth. So there is no separate country. How can we say there are 200 countries? That is also referral. That is referral, not real. There are whatever number of planets in the solar system. Yes, they are located remotely. They are located millions and billions of kilometers away. Yet they are integrated by some power. We have to understand reality. This is reality of world, reality of science and engineering created by nature, by power of God. We have to say by power of God because we don't know which God, what God, we can't know that. We have not that capacity to know that, but we can refer. Referral can be done. It can be referred that there is some power which is a power of God. So solar system also is a unit. Whatever number of 9 planets systemized together, designed together in certain functional way, that these planets have been working and satisfying for unknown times. So you can say here, you find a different approach to understand engineering. Because here I cannot simply say civil engineering because this is solar system. No system can operate based on only what I am saying civil engineering. No, it cannot. This system involves all knowledges. Whole knowledge is available in the universe. Then you will ask, why knowledge is available? Yes, it is available. I did not generate knowledge, you did not generate knowledge, nobody generated knowledge, but knowledge is available. Knowledge is available, that's why we are here. Everywhere we can go, but we cannot leave this earth until individual leaves this body. Now you may say he's talking philosophy. No, it's not philosophy, it's reality. It is science, it is engineering, it is thinking. Thinking for me, again I say, is very important. It's not spiritual thinking, it's world thinking. It's mundane thinking. Mundane thinking, which you have to think considering every aspect into your approach, your talk of. That's what. I cannot be present if there is no overall thinking. I could not be made if there is no overall thinking. God could not make me. God could not do it. I am also a part of that system which you are. And that is beauty. That is beauty of production of God's system, God's plant. So we can say, I am also a part of plant. If this whole solar system is a plant or facility for all, there are so many, 8 billion individuals and I don't know how many billion other creatures all constitute part of God's system or God's plant. I am one of them, a one of them. This is what I'm trying to analyze, how we are living, who we are and what we are. Is that not scientific question? These are scientific questions. Of course these are. Though we do not recognize them, but these are evolutionary questions. Evolutionary questions which must be clearly understood and answered. Can someone answer? Point is that. Who shall answer? At least I cannot answer. I am very small person like you are. Very, very small person I am. I don't know anything. I am trying to learn it. I studied very little. Few years of study cannot provide me complete knowledge, and even whole life cannot provide me complete knowledge, because we are watchers, we are observers, we are not doers, we are not doing anything, to be very frank. We are not doing anything. We are just watching, We are just using what is given to us. We are not doing anything specific. What is given to us, we enjoy that. Whatever God has given us or nature has given us, we are exploiting that. We have been exploiting that for centuries and for millenniums, and then we say, "Oh, it's mine." Oh no, it's not mine. Mine is nothing. Even this body is not mine. How can I say material? This body which is mine now, which I am using, can be said temporarily mine, but it's not my control. It's not in my control. It's beyond my claim. I put a disclaimer here. I'm not responsible for this body, right? As we do on times, as we do on documents, as on something else. Oh, this body is not mine. I'm not responsible for anything done by this body. I don't have any responsibility because it's beyond my controls. But we can't do that. Because relatively, you can say, relatively, until I remain in this body, I am responsible for my acts, no one else. Knowingly, not unknowingly. You can say, if I do something in my own consideration, in my own contemplation, in my own thinking, if I do something, if I carry out something, whatever good or bad, that responsibility is owned by me as an individual legally. But is that engineering wise? Is that soul wise? Actually, what I say, engineering is a function of soul. Engineering is a function of soul. I understand that. Soul. Then so where is soul? What is soul? Define soul. Yes, I can't define. I cannot define, and nobody can define. It can be assumed. I can define this body and you can define this body, but is it really body? That's what we have to analyze. It's engineering sense. When we say material is body, stone is body, steel body, RCC, we say that or no? Some material is involved, and in those materials some strengths are involved, some functions are involved, some properties are involved. What do you call them? If I say stone is good in compression, stone is good in compression but not good in tension. Same thing we say brick, which is a kind of artificial stone. It has same functions, same resistance, same properties. And of course steel, which is good in both compression as well as in tension. But from where that strength is coming, from where that strength comes, you can say. If I say, okay, concrete, we understand, concrete is good in compression, it's not good in tension. And to put tension in, put a resistance to tension in, we can say we provide reinforcement or step in that. So that is, you can say, a relative answer. Still those materials are actual one, real one, original one. This means everything is relative, nothing is original. But universe is not relative. My body is not relative. Our work can be relatively done, our properties can be defined relatively, but function of body we do not know. Medically we do not know 100%, and spiritually we do not know, or material wise we do not know. This body is a material. I can say like gravel, like sand, like cement, my body is also one or complete inbuilt, or you can say cohesive matrix of such materials. We call in our way, in our cultural way, that our body is made of 5 elements. That is analytical answer. That's not real answer. Whatever they could understand, they say, okay, and you know what I'm talking. It is soil, it is sun rays, it is water, it's fire, it's either, right? Soil. We consider soil, that our body is constructed of soil, one part. I mean to say one of five parts. Then two of five is, you can say, sun rays, or you can say fire. Then three of five is water, and four of five is, I said ether, and one more. So there are five parts of material world this body is assumed to be constructed of. Just like, or you can say these are ingredients of our material part of body, which one day shall finish, and that could come out to this earth. Only these five parts, as is understood. Fire I am made of, soil I am made of, water I am made of, heat I am made of, air or sky I am made of. So they say you are made of five elements, pancha tattva. Okay, we can agree at this point. There may be more and more subsidiaries of these five. I am leaving them behind because I am not that capable to know that much. Okay, this we say, this vehicle you have. Your body is a vehicle with expansion coefficient, and you can say reduction coefficient as well. Expansion coefficient I am using here. This is not linear expansion. This is not, you can say, lateral expansion. This is volumetric expansion. Because when you're born, you're very small, very small size baby. Newborn baby, you say, oh, very small size. But that immediately at time of birth, you start minute expansion, and your body starts working, and you can say you use your tongue power, your throat power, your body power to cry, to do, to laugh, to do whatever else you can do, because you're not known at the time. Nobody knows you, and you don't know people, and you don't know language. So only language remains is crying or smiling or not yet. So body is that. So what? Okay, I have body, but where is my control? Where is my control? How I am living? Who is supporting me? Okay, I have come from God's home. I have forgotten that. I was there, and I don't want to remember that because I fear if I remember that, that would take me. That's my fear. But again, same thing. Body is energized. Who energizes this body? Who energizes body? Yes, energies every time we have been taking communal, what do you call it? Cordial atmosphere with body. Which power is helping this? Which power is helping that? That's my very big question. This means there is expected to be power behind your construction of body. And without that power, we cannot live. Where is this electrical power coming from? It's not electrical to that voltage, but some electrical energy is available in our body. Of course, we take food, we take water, but is that enough? Yes, there is someone within our body all the time. We cannot identify that one. There can be dreams, we can see dreams, but I am not talking of dreams. I am talking of real world. Because if we say body is real, the body is made of five elements, I don't accept this. Because body, materials are five elements, but not body. If my five elements are not supported by my, you can say, living system, or by soul power, I would simply say we should not bother about this question. Why? My answer is it. This is very important part of life, and you are saying you are suffering. So, my dear friends, what I mean to say that we are supported by a power here, and that power actually we assume that is soul. Assume, I say. I can't see that. I can't prove that it exists, but everybody feels it is there. Now we say logically we talk. Now, not before that we had not to speak. We have a staircase, but they are still there in our system, or you can say that soul is our head of everyone. Without that power, without working that power, you cannot do anything. We become powerless. So where does it stay? Which is safest place for this power to stay in our body? You cannot say this out of my body, hanging on this wall or sleeping in this bed. No, it's not. While you are sleeping in bed, that power is selective. That while you're sleeping is active, while you're awaken, this is active. There's no way that I can say this power is inactive. All time it acts. Even it sleeps, when I sleep, it works. I am relating it to engineering world. That God engineered in such a way that your energies are inseparable but separable. Your body is inseparable but separable. Is that not a point? That is a point. I should say that's a point. And that's not a point of concern, it's a point of importance. Importance, very much importance you can say. Point of importance it is. It gives me a kind of engineering input to understand engineering. I think best unit of engineering understanding is nature. If everybody tries to understand nature, I think you have knowledge then. You can say, I'm not saying you understand like scientists or like that detail, but understanding of mechanism, that some mechanism works there, that is very much important. If you understand mechanism, you say, okay, at least this must be there. If not, you can say, I can't prove it, no one can prove it, but at least this must be there. We see every day, just like sun rises, or just like rain happens. These are all supporting, you can say, supporting systems of this world, without which we cannot exist, we cannot survive. That's what I can say. We can't survive. So for our survival, just like air is important, water is important, fire is important, or you can say soil is important, or you may say either is important or sky is important. You can say thoughts are important, though, or you can say contemplation is important, or you can say food is important. You can say functioning of this body is important. Well, I think we can say soul is also important. It's electrical supply, you can say energy supply, you can say not electrical supply. It is energy supply to my body. Energy supply to my body, and that I call soul spectrum. This means it is my software which helps me to live, to operate all functions of my body and mind and to control them. And in that case, you can say, if this spectrum contains, or you can say controls me, and I contained in me, both are there, controls and contain, but it doesn't charge anything, it still gives me its power. This means this is part of my life, very much integrated part of my life, just like integrated part of this nature is earth. So what should I say? I can say that this soul is a part of my engineering, individual engineering. It's a kind of, you can say, engineering. Because human engineering, you can say, God is doing human engineering by combination of our body and soul together. It is human engineering. So unknown, we can say, it's not controlled in human being, but it is God's carried out human engineering. It's not in my control, but it is controlled by someone. Super control, supreme control. How can you deny this fact? Nobody can deny this fact. Fact remains fact. We accept or we don't accept. Acceptance or rejection does not matter if we are sure. So it seems that my knowledge or my learning is based on my soul. This also means if my soul learns, I learn. This also means you can say medium of learning is soul and body. But body is a container. Body is a house. But soul has complete music. That can be understood like this. This means my body plus soul are like tanks of energy, tank of oil. Just like we say LNG tanks, nuclear reactor building. When you say LNG tanks, though you may say, why are you comparing with LNG? I am not comparing. I am just trying to say how that works. We store energy in tank. Which tank? There are two tanks in that tank. In that LNG, there are two tanks in one tank. One is containment tank and other is safety tank. Containment tank is generally metallic, while safety tank is pre-stressed concrete or RCC. Safety from what? Safety for material. Because that gas that remains stored in liquid form in that tank, that is first tank, and that one is called containment. Other tank to shield this tank is outside, and that's called concrete tank or silos or whatever. Not silos exactly, it is gas tank, liquefied natural gas. Same way here I can say my body is a containment of my soul. So to contain your soul, this strong body is required. While soul is not that strong in physical world, but is excellent or very strong in just world where you are wasting time. So I say engineering that I do is based on soul, and soul is based on soil. I think you got what I'm saying. My trial of thinking has taught me that there is only one country in this world, and that is Earth. That is Earth. Can you forget this? Relative countries were demarcated by human beings, not by God, just to create frictions among people and to break those countries. But nobody can destroy this. Nobody can destroy that. The soul is the power of human being, and with soul you have determination. With soul power you have commitments. With soul power you have building of your life, and with soul power you have to achieve something. And if your soul is weak, you may be wrestler. You won't be able to do anything if it's to some extent damaged and impact your brain, in that case I am advising. In a way, I say civil engineering includes body, because body is human resources, and civil engineering needs human resources. If you take engineering that way, that you are a part of engineering, though you are not, but you can say even that your body is engineering because of engineering part. I have to accept this. I accept this. But I can't justify, and no one of you can justify. No one can justify this. But we cannot say it's not working, it's working. Like we cannot say concrete is taking tension or not taking tension, because when steel is there, it does not fail, and we assume that this is taking tension. Saul remembers everything, Saul stores everything. Whatever material might have been removed from here, well, same over here. Saul is engineering actually. I cannot see Saul, you cannot see Saul, but it works. Same way, electrical current you cannot see, but appliances work. Why don't we put this definition page into such consideration? Now come on to back world of universe and Earth. As I said, Earth is one unit. Your hotels, now engineering, if you have to understand, you have to understand yourself first. That's very much true. But how many can we understand self? We cannot understand self. We have no capacity. If we have capacity, I think we'll change everything. We'll change everything. You see, when we do some work in engineering, for example, we take his facts, we take his lessons. When I joined engineering, I did not know what I was going to do. And what I see in field now, I don't understand why people do not read requirements before doing job. I have no answer to that. Quality of construction has gone below normal line. Yes. When we talk of engineering issues, we talk of this, we talk of material, we talk of quality, we talk of workers, we talk of this and that. To me, it's not a big deal. Are you surprised to see or something not like that? I am surprised. Because meanwhile, when sometime I am not, open to you, I feel something in my body, and that I see how this is moving. I'm not talking of something you do not understand. I'm talking that soul is filled with that material, and it can never do. So, my dear engineers and others, before claiming to be an engineer, first you prove to others that you know. When I'm talking this subject, I'm talking about engineering, civil engineering, general, and design. Though it's not documents here today, I've written documents here. I could not remove that, no problem. But that is a part of this also. Methods, contracts, FIDIC, etc., quality, quantity, and all that. I wanted to talk about unity of Earth, unity of lithosphere. When there is no name of this, there should be no name of any country, but that is reference name, which you already have described. Who started that? Don't worry about that. If I started some document, it doesn't mean I am author of that. You can also contemplate on that, and you can reach destination. Where do you want to go? I cannot say I just learned this knowledge in 1 day or 2 day. You have a lot of experience only when you can differ in approach. Whatever your contract sum be, you cannot abandon that contract. You do that. Well, sometimes I feel lazy within talks. It doesn't mean that I'm not thinking of talk, because this talk subject is very, very different, and we don't have fractions of earth with us. Earth cannot be fraction. It is result of our field of operation. Here it is. It can be real field or it can be imaginary field, both are there. But for engineering it is field of operation and so on. We have put always some text on this video. That is very important to know about what we thought of this elders. When I say lithosphere is one item, do not think that saving of this water can be used elsewhere. First of all, that's not going to happen, but it can happen only in vicinity of that, where you can store water and supply your requirements. That's also right. So we have to be very logical in our approach, in our understanding. What we say should be related to engineering. How construction of this earth, just think of how construction of this was done. Small earth, 12,500 kilometer its ball diameter, and then its constituents of internal structure. And same applies to all other planets. Weight of earth is very heavy, but it then moves. Alright, I don't want to pull you to imagination. I would simply say earth is one solid and very little water in that, percentage wise very little, and that is one body of water covering all surface areas. Water is very important for earth survival, that's why it's there. Water is powerful while moving into rivers, but it's not that powerful when it goes to its store, and that is water body, that is sea and ocean. So we have to understand our limitations in engineering. That engineering is not exclusive, it is inclusive of universe. So we know earth by geological sciences. We know it's one body. It cannot be changed to continents, but we have changed it because we want to evolve with this earth. Now we go to glimpses of engineering. And okay, let's move further. Earth. Can you imagine Earth? What it is? What it has in its hidden source? Because we are not able yet to reach soul of Earth, or can say power of Earth. Well, the subject is very, very, sluggish but important. Without solar system, we cannot live and we cannot do anything. Same way, without lithosphere, we cannot exist. Both, one part is solid and one part is solid. When we jump on to conclusion that Earth is a material, shall you be surprised? Earth is a material also. We accept or we don't accept, but it's a fact. I'm feeling cold, I think. Let me wear my shoes. It's really problematic for me all the time. If I keep outside, my food changes. I relax only for a few minutes so that do not be tight shoes all the time. It's tight. It's difficult for me to stay well. I'm talking of earth material. Earth is a material for me as an engineer. It may be or something else for someone, but for me, earth is material and master material, top material, you can say only material in such widest form. Where such widest form, it's a material. Means you cannot do, first of all, you are living on earth, then using this earth for your construction, using this earth for everything, and so we can say earth is a very big foundation, right? We can consider earth as foundation for everything. Earth for base for everything, for formation, it's a formation for everything. You can say it's a road for everything. You can say it's a track for everything. Well, I think what should you think of, and that's this everything. So it's horrible to digest this statement, but it's a fact that it's everything. And those who don't accept this, they won't understand what is earth. When I'm saying earth, it includes environment, it includes weather, it includes clouds, it includes, all that. And it may apply to all other planets also. I can't comment at this stage. So, you can say, is there left something to understand? No. When I say earth is my ground, I excavate or don't excavate, I am already using this earth. You are using this earth. we use, and we did not analyze that we use, but we use that. And that's important point here. So when I say I build a home, a structure, I am making a structure on a structure. A structure, existing one is earth, and using earth material, we are going to make another structure on that. And we call it my expertise. What expertise is this? What expertise is there? You are already something is working, you are sitting on that and you are saying, I'm doing something. Okay, no problem. We can assume that. थोड़ा हिंदी में बोले नहीं बोले नो प्रॉब्लम बोलेंगे बाद में बोलेंगे चलने दो भी लेट्स मूव एज इट इज because I want people to understand some foreign language. They call it foreign language, I don't call it, but I am very slow in talking these days, you know. I can talk very fast, but I feel you should also understand when I talk. Earth, we call some people who say it's mother. Yes, it is mother because we are living on this and everybody lives on mother. Mother feeds everybody. So earth feeds us, it feeds everyone. God's work is so intelligent. God created every support in such a way that you do not call God again and again, give us this and give us that. God would say, I have done it already. Why are you coming to me? Don't come to me. Yes, you come, it's your home, but you know, not forever. I have sent you to this side of earth. When I am saying site of earth, it has many meanings. First point is clear that you cannot do anything more than this earth allows you. That's one point. So we have a limit. Means earth is a limit definer. It defines your limit. Just we say it's not infinite in fact. My limit is defined by earth. Yes. If I do not understand this point, then I am not an intelligent person. But earth is materially defined. Earth can define how much I can use it, how much I cannot use it. That point is important. How much I can use it, how much I cannot use it. I have certain limitations that earth limits automatically. And moreover, I can use only earth's surface for my own work. My God. I cannot go beyond that. I cannot go beyond that. I cannot go beyond earth's surface to use it. I have to use only earth's surface. I cannot use, I have to go in skies and use there for my building. That's not permissible so far. My God. So, what I do? Earth has already defined my limitations. People may say I am talking engineering or I am talking hypothetical. Yes, you may say I am talking hypothetical, but I am talking reality. Can you make a building in air? Can you? Again I say, can you do something in here? Forget building. Can you make a wall in here? Forget wall. Can you keep one brick in? Can you make some RCC material there? Can you keep in here something? No. No, no. So, does it not limit your contention? Yes, you can hypothetically say, hypothetically you can say anything, but in material terms, you cannot do anything. That is where engineering stands. Means engineering work is not hypothetical, it is material work. By our knowledge, by our understanding of system, of nature, we can say we are doing this. By intelligence, and that intelligence lies where? That intelligence lies in our soul. So, soul is mind controller. Soul is mind controller, I means knowledge controller. Soul, if you want to define soul, you can say, I cannot see this, I cannot measure my soul, but I can use it. Though I am not sure I am using soul, but fact is, you use your soul all time. From throughout your life, you use soul. Throughout your life. Your soul, your strength of soul, that's called spirit, you use throughout your life. That is very important, that I am using. Soul is also God given, it's not mine, it's also God given. So you can say this is another resource. This is not material resource, but this is another resource. I cannot define what material is built of, because I cannot see even where is this material. That point is also very much important. When we are talking of material construction, I don't think we use something else. No one can prove soul, but everybody can see material. It is same way if say earth is rotating, earth is moving, but who is moving that? Can you see that driver? Can you see that engine? I can't see, but earth is moving. I am living, my body is working, and it has been working since I was born. Since I was born, and it applies to everybody. But how it is working? I can't understand. It has been working without any failure. For years together, this body works without any break. Who is doing that work? I am not doing. I am using that work. I, as human body, use that performing action. Who is that? And this performing person also gives me power to think. It's not simply that I am using this, that person forces me to think. And when that person forces me to think, this means there is something else also held by that person. Something else also is held by that person. And that person is sure that when I force this person, this body to use this valuable knowledge, that body will use it, and that soul, which is entity separately, that soul will get benefit of this. Maybe you are not clear about. That's also a point here. You may be clear, you may not be clear, but soul is clear. That whatever you do, whatever you think, that's based on that power, So whatever intelligent work you work, whatever engineering work you do, whatever other work you do in life, nothing is of your own mind, but it is feedback or is input from power of soul. So when I say I use my mind, this means I use my mind as structure only, not material that comes in informative form. Information, that's knowledge information that comes in, and that is how you take out from that existence, and we use it in different form. Not easy to understand. If you can understand engineering, you can understand soul very well. Don't worry, because soul and engineering are no different. Soul actually is reality, because soul, if not available, you will not be available to live in this world. Point you understand? You realize or no? Soul is my software. Just like we use computers, we say software is there, we use it. Good morning, Mr. Chaudhary Raju, welcome. You are still not sleeping, good. Smart guy, not sleeping. No problem. Don't sleep. Better. We use computers, we use hardware, we use software. All we use in combination. And then we make more and more on that. Means at least we have something with us. We have software and we have hardware. If either of this is not available, we will not be able to do anything. And more also important on this is, you can say, original power of movement, and that is electricity, electric current. Electric current, if not available, you also cannot use this. What electric current we have in our body for doing actions in world, that point must also be understood. We say we use soul and we can reach at any place in world without even telling them, or sometimes without even telling your personal family, your private messages or your fathers. Sometimes you can do that. I could not understand soul even after contemplating for many years. But one point I could understand, that soul gives me feedback. It gives me whatever is required. Soul is that. You cannot see it, you cannot measure it, there is no length, no breadth. You cannot weigh it, but its actions are measurable. Its way is well. You will not be told what power it is, but it will be given for the power of you. I can say as an engineer that I am very small person. I learned engineering, it doesn't mean I learned a lot. Because at that time, because my knowledge was limited and I knew nothing in life. So when I learned a lot in theory and in practical, I thought I know world, I know everything. But in fact, now I realize it was very little of life, very little. Because learning has no limit, and not only learning but also understanding of what you learned also count in you can say limits. Limitless actions and limitful actions are different. If I say, if I say, I can prove it, then I must prove it. I can prove I constructed a beam. I can prove I constructed a column. I can say I constructed building. Can I prove how these elements perform? Yes, performance is seen, it's done. We can measure it, what dimension it has. We can see deflection comes in, we can view that, or we can find distresses in that, or cracks in that. But we cannot prove how does this material perform, how does this building perform. We can only say we have tested it or we have taken examination. Remember, same type of statements. Same type of statements you have to justify everywhere. Say I am walking, I am talking. Can I prove how I am doing this? It's natural process. I can say, yes, it's a natural process. It has nothing else. It was bad. It was this and that. So sad. We can't even prove this time in 2021 how we do engineering. We cannot have failed whole analytical world of engineering. Engineering starts with analysis, that's also agreed. If somebody asks me, how did you design this building? I would give my theoretical answers. I use this theorem, I assume this loading, I did this and I did that. Everybody will answer that. I use this node, this section, these joints, I distributed load from slab to beams and to beams like that. Everybody will say, and moreover will say, oh, software is doing that. So if you are just want to depend, if you just are dependent on software, then you do not act, cannot answer this. But everybody who understands this say, that's impressive. If I understand what is engineering, if I understand what is formula, then delay could be solved. You have every chance in life to learn and to earn, but learning is limited, only limited. Just like earning in engineering is not to that mark except few thousands. Yes. So I cannot say Saul definition, I cannot say engineering definition. I would simply say certain formula, certain mechanism of materials and some are world. Engineering is a science, engineering is a mechanism, engineering is an art, engineering is a complication, engineering is simplification. Everything you can say. It's up to you. You can do blind engineering without thinking anything, without calculating anything, or you can do engineering with complete calculation. But remember, everything is relative, nothing is absolute. That's first principle in engineering. Because we are copying it from somewhere else, so you cannot say it's engineering. It cannot be said. So what we are talking now is these contract parties. So we jump from this to that because understanding of engineering is very, very difficult. You cannot reach any conclusion because we are related to earth, and earth is different materials, and earth gives us all these materials, which you should realize that there is a limit to everything. There's a limit to everything. Air limit is like that. Air limit is different. We have to get this point into our consideration. As I usually say, there's a book, and I usually tell you what about activities, what about this and that in this book. We cannot. I don't see something, but not just the. The problem is the book is actually pieces in pieces, and this is very, very old one and old style, but good one, and well, I'm just talking of something that is, let us say something. I want to talk something about some engineering, that is civil engineering, and I wrote something before, though it has gone to pieces, I will say. Sometime we have to adjust like that only. It is fixed electrical marks and reaching top of blinding concrete. I don't know, this is swimming pool. I'm not interested in swimming pool. I was talking of building activities, which is different. Let us say because I'm going to prime cost, direct labor. It is chapter on civil engineering project management, and that was definition of parties involved in building projects. It says promoter, then engineer, and then you can say contractor. Let's say what I wrote that time. Let me just scan to tell you what I wrote at the time. This is 92, I remember. In that, with my little knowledge about this promoter or user or buyer or government bodies, owner, means everything is covered in that. You can say what is that actually, that we have to understand. And first we have to understand means where do we, I'm not repeating this, I'm just giving a reference, means just a reference. It is important to understand. Yes, see, this is causing problem to me because this is distance glass. It says individual person, you can say individual person, proprietor, group, or financer. Anyone who desires to invest funds, money for certain civil engineering project for a definite purpose, for a definite profitable business, or for personal use, or for use for a certain part of community or society, or for a commercial purpose, etc. As case be, and undertakes to have complete responsibility of that finances and consequences on same. Promoter appoints engineer. I'm talking engineer, not civil engineer. Remember, engineer. Though it's understood. Promoter appoints engineer for project to design and supervise execution and design to be in accordance with prescribed requirements. and needs specific to meet target within a specified budget and defined time. Promoter also appoints contractor for purpose of construction executions of scheme based on recommendation of engineer for project. In both contracts, that is management contract that exists between promoter and engineer, and next one is construction contract that exists between promoter and executor. Execution contractor, promoter stands as party 1, while engineer and contractor for execution as party 2 in respective services, respective contracts. Promoter owns responsibility and liability of all money payments for services rendered by two parties on job. In contract with construction contractor, promoter shall be statutory. Termed employer of engineer, employer of execution contractor, and in contract with project engineer, termed as client of engineer. This was definition long back. Well, still it is valid. There's nothing gone out of this. Now I say engineer for project. How I'll define that? Engineer for project. Engineer for project. I'm sorry, what to do? See again. How many times I do so sorry. Immediately after being appointed engineer in all professional respects, for scheme of project, individual professional in engineering or group or agency, however you operate, as case be, comes into effect to legally enjoy status of being termed or designated engineer. For project, that is to own complete technical and engineering obligations and professional responsibilities for complete designs and supervision over construction execution, which resembles status of engineer in chief or chief engineer, in lieu of what? In lieu of that government equivalent sector. And promoter and engineer are bound on management countries, and payments are made according to engineer by project. Since payment on contract is made in a fixed accepted percentage of cost, engineer owns complete liability of adverse consequences of engineering design failure of works, services, and have to face prosecution and bear all damages caused to promoter. Engineer shall enjoy complete administrative controls of job engineering from inception to completion, associates. And then execution contractor construction contractor. What is that? Immediately after being issued with award letter by promoter, tenderer enjoys designation of construction contractor and shall be bound to carry out all project works for promoter based and specified per engineers. Right. Agents detail and instructions put forward all claims of works in principles. What may be duties of you can say engineer, we can say here, just as for reference only I'm telling, title or nature of professional services to be rendered by engineer to promoter. You know all that, but I'm just trying to confine it in some sentence, which is very important one. I'm lazy, lethargic. You see what's happening to me. See, it's not happen, but it's happening by chance. It is happening. Let us wait. Engineer, which we understand, again I say, it's not engineering qualification alone, but qualification and expertise, both are called engineer. And expertise has no limit. You know it very well. If you have no expertise, you can't be called engineer. We have to understand the responsibilities of an engineer very well. We have to understand what engineer has to do contractually, legally. Otherwise, how can you take responsibility if you don't understand that? See, engineer, though it is standard word, but I can give more value to this word if one is responsible and one is liable. Remember, liability and responsibility are very important factors. Both come together, maybe following once. Here responsibility is immense if you take into our value, our standard immense in the sense that sometimes it looks that it is not coupling engineer. It's not our assistant engineer means you cannot say what is limit in that. Let us say. Let us see what is limit in that. I don't know why I'm getting sleepy. I don't know reasons already. I should take rest. It's 6 o'clock. Oh no, it's still time. Conceive. First job is conceive. Imagine. Incept. Develop. Design. Complete engineering details. That is, you can say that involves architectural planning, detailing, structural designing, detailing, all building allied services, internal and external, schematic structural works. And you can say Networks and quantity engineering, design, detailing, building, allied services, internal, external, then schematic, structural networks and quantity engineering. Prepare submissions to drawings to municipality or other responsible for this. Yes. Now, these are things easy, those in 2 lines, but not easy. It's a prepare submission drawings to obtain building permit from concerned relevant statutory authority or department. Drawing, drafting, tenders for construction contracts. Administer, manage and supervise as consultant. Group consultants at all construction operations at project site in the international or national capacity. And operate terms and conditions of construction contracts, execution till completion with commissioning of all jobs. As included in project details, estimated cost of which is this. I'll leave it now. Now, what is actually guide and line break of engineer's responsibility included or intended to be included in scope of this contract? That's what you're going to read now. Because this is what you have to understand. And if you don't understand, you cannot do anything. Means your responsibility is enlarged because you are going to do that. You have to do that, and without doing that, you cannot survive. You cannot succeed. आगे तो जाना पड़ेगा. Sorry, again I am saying. No problem, it's fine. We'll see what to do. Yawning, you are not yawning, you're sleeping. There's a difference. Well, no problem. Let me stretch a little bit. Engineer job. This is engineer job. I'm engineering my body. I'm making it fit. What is this? Vertical vibration. What is this way? What is the revolving? You know, buildings do like this. How this? It's rocking a building, building rocks like this when earthquake is there. Building rocks like that. Can you believe it? Can you believe it or not? Yes, it is believable, but you are looking at, I'm doing very fast. Buildings like this. You know what? Earthquake. This is engineering. Shall you believe it? Believe it. What is engineering? This is engineering. Yes, this is engineering. What else is engineering? This is engineering. Why are you calling, bloody fool? पता नहीं पागल लोग हैं यार. Why are you calling? People are wasting time for nothing. You sleep your home. Why are you calling me? Bloody hell. For what? I am thinking, I am talking, and they are calling for nothing. Such stupids. No meaning. Either raise some questions, talk something. I was concentrating on some talk and this stuff. Okay, now I say I'm building, I'm here, I'm sitting or standing, I am stationary, right? But I'm not dead. I am not dead. I am stationary. My whole weight, my whole weight is acting downwards. When I'm saying whole weight, my dead weight and live load on myself all are acting down. This is best condition for stability. Do you know this? Again I say, assume I am standing. No wind on me, no earthquake on me, and no disturbance on me. I am just standing. My tons of weight, thousands of tons of weight, acting down, and I'm not going to collapse. This is normal stage of a building. Best stage, you can say, equilibrium stage where there's no chance of any. Now, okay, I'm again there as building. Some wind on me. Height, at height, it can't be on ground. I'm say 20-story building. Wind blow, and I'm moving from top story moving, bottom but top story moving, few millimeters and this way, few millimeters and this way. I also call myself in equilibrium, but in dynamic equilibrium, because during wind I'm vibrating myself, and it's not exactly visible, but it is sometimes visible as well. But I am swaying in three-dimensional way. And sway means this way. This supposes my top slab. This way, 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 and it is wind impact on building. All right, wind impact. I am stationary. No problem to me. No problem to me. Again I come in position where some ground forces impact on me horizontally, and that is because of seismic action. So imagine my base, my legs are being disturbed because of movement of earth, and my whole body is vibrating here and there, and this vibrating and the energy is entering my body, and my body is vibrating, and until vibration goes on, I am not in equilibrium position. I shall come back to my stationary position when it's over. That is act of God. Now, do you know what I mean, Dad? I am going this way, 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 but I come back to original position. That is called coming back to original position, means still I am successful. How can we get all this? Maybe I don't come to original position, I sling flying like this, or I fall, depending on force magnitude. You see, building bends also. This is bending, little bending, deflection. Materials in building or elements in building also affected individually. Individually, beams and columns and slabs are affected individually, but there are ways to control them. I'm not going to tell everything here because you will feel I'm going to know mathematical word. Now we have to understand what engineer has to do, because this will explain to you our realities in life. Building performs like this. You might have noticed while standing on some bridge, railway bridge, that a train passed away. Train moved to that position and left. No, I don't want to sleep. Why should I sleep? I don't want to sleep. I was just thinking how to explain to you, because buildings are not same in behavior. If you think of low story building, that is say up to 3 story or 4 story, mostly 5 story. Behavior is same but reduced one. Reduced one. Foundations are good one, and traffic rush is less. At least you will save parts of it. So what it says, what engineer has to do, we have to see this now. That is what he has to do. Now it says that what is guide actually I am telling you. Schematic layout, plans of different residential, commercial and all other components of proposed project, we can say. Schematic layouts, right? Then schematic architectural plans, layouts of all buildings and relevant structures. Architectural and structural developments and projections of complete formation mechanisms of all buildings related to project. Preparation of contract forms and contract legal documents. Preparation of guide to organization or management for civil engineering project administration and control based on whatever institution is sought in. All guidelines. Preparation of application petition to obtain no objection certificate that requires to be moved by promoter on competent authorities of lands, control administration, of state government or whatever, which you can say are generally controllers for various aspects of buildings. Could be planning, could be you can say arts commission or something like that, or municipality or authority. Survey supervision, site survey supervision and soil investigation, interactions post land acquisition, because generally land is acquired for major projects once projects are detailed in, and that land is acquired for purpose of projects only in public interest. It's not necessary that you have land in advance. Schematic plans of layouts, review and adjustment settings, modeling, making supervision and a submission of layouts for technical approvals or technical services. Schematic, structural plans of all buildings, structural layouts, arrangements. Architectural, develop plans, elevations, sections and other details. Structural, develop plans and other structural slabs. Architectural and structural working details. And complete allied services, schematic details. Foundation designs and detailing, submission of drawings for building permit, technical services only. Quantity engineering details for tendering purpose. And project site works, supervision and control of administration over construction execution. Post of practical completion and maintenance, supervision for 400 days only. And preparation of preliminary schemes, reports, chapters on previous project reports, representation in selected meetings of financial technical purpose, formation of National Capital Region of Delhi. Okay, so I'm going to engineers exclusive right. I'll leave it behind for time being. We are saying something here. Terms and conditions to govern this contract. Well, I was interested in something else. Let us go through what is more important understanding is that liabilities we have to understand because we have gone through definitions now. Liabilities of contractor, owner and engineer. What are liabilities? These points they have to little detail in understanding liabilities. Now it says contractor shall take contractor I'm talking of. Contractor shall take over site from engineer, resident engineer on date of site handover to contractor, date of contract commencement you can say, and shall commence mobilization works followed by contract scope for contract documents as agreed between owner and contractor. Contractor shall complete all elements of various disciplines as defined and detailed according to all tender. Contract documents and per specific contract conditions or letter of explanations. And also contractor shall hand over to employer. Contractor shall hand over to employer for first party completed works in all respects at time of practical completion for employer's use. Contractor shall protect and maintain all works during maintenance period as defined in specific condition, letter of explanations till final completion of all works is certified by engineer. Contractor shall be liable for expenses to be incurred on works, work persons, materials, machines and all other contingencies and overheads as specifically detailed in specific conditions, letter of explanations. Then say contractor shall be liable for all execution responsibilities, liabilities and safety of all during construction. Contractors shall be liable to execution of works to satisfaction you can say of engineer and owner in an overall consideration, and shall adhere to contract documents as agreed by him before in signing contract. Like this, we are having many explanations of responsibilities that we should understand very well. It's not that I am telling you, job tells you, I will talk in owner also, see just owner. It's duty of contractor according to contract that whatever is given, whatever is included in contract documents, whatever is included in contract documents, 100% that must be complied with. That must be complied with, and works are required to be completed accordingly, because purpose of design is not designs alone. Job of contractor is very responsible. If you think one is really contractor, don't take it very lightly, because contract means work to be done. Simple. Work to be done, that is contract. You cannot avoid that responsibility, cannot avoid that under law, cannot be avoided. To be done, and I have to be given few minutes also as a part of this contract, so that I can just come back in 5 minutes for moving further. And meanwhile, you can see this. I will be back. Just a minute, excuse me. What a minute. Oh, my legs. Oh, I can't stand. जाम हो गया यार, क्या करूं भाई. My stick. what we have to understand. We have to tell people what is responsibility of this, what is the responsibility of that. And that is where engineering life stands. Very interesting, I can say. Different life, different world. This world is not actually what we think should be. It's very important to imagine, to think, to do. Contractor, we consider contractor. But contractor is very responsible, should be. We cannot simply take it for granted that contractor is very easy. No, it's not. If I consider that on engineering world, it is, if you take responsibility wise, real responsibility, because contractor, which we say, has to build for you on contract. I'm not saying builder, I'm saying contractor. Contractor is essence of construction. You may be your own contractor, if you do your own self, but if you employ a contractor for purpose of construction, in that case, the contractor is, you can say, very responsible party, very responsible party, because final product for which designs were done, theories were used, money was spent, and money is being spent on construction. Materials are being spent, resources, and you can say everything is being done. Everything is being done, and that is for final product. That is for final product. And that final product producer is final product. Product is done by contractor. So ultimately, you can say it is responsibility of contractor in each and every way that project should be complied with real requirements. And if it's not done, we can say it is fault of contractor if contractor is unable to do that, provided other conditions stand good. Means design stands good, financing stands good, and market stand good. It's responsibility of contractor, if it's lump sum fixed price contract, to procure all requirements to be included on project. That's responsibility of that party. Party 2 on construction contract, and that party, whatever it does is carries out, must obtain approvals of supervising party, that is engineer. So role of contractor in that case is very high profile, you can say. In fact, it is very solid role if you compare role of employer, role of contractor, and role of engineer. Contractor is not an ordinary party. I'm not appreciating anything, I'm just analyzing what is the role of contractor, because contractor is giving final contribution to work that is physical. It's not imaginary, it's not theoretical, it is not software based, it's not drawing printout, it's not writing note, it's not a speech, or you can say it is something that is going to be final material. Contractor combines ingredients into final material according to given design or according to own design. And that material's life is not 1 day or 2 days, it's forever. You can say, and contractor is paid for that activity, that role. So you can say responsibility of contractor, liability of contractor, risk of contractor, all stand on higher footings. Higher footings. Because once contractor does something, carries out something, it is done. It cannot be changed. Very important point. If designer does something and designer finds that there's an issue, there's some concern or there's some error or there's some new development before work is done on site, there's every chance that design can be altered. If owner changes his mind before work is done, there's every possibility that design can be changed or scheme can be changed or even can be shelved. So responsibility and liability factors of these two, owner and engineers, are undercover, are safe to some limitations, risk free. But because contractor is paid for work and contractor does it, by chance, if suppose contractor makes a mistake, this is not risk free. Contractor has to digest that additional time waste, cost and everything. Money goes waste, material goes waste, time goes waste, and reputation of contractor remains at risk. But this does not happen to engineer world and employer world. To some extent they are safe by appointing contractor. And that is reason that everyone wants work be done using employment of contractor. So contractor people should also understand that it's their liability. Even is approved by engineer or resident engineer or by employer, ultimate responsibility still lies with contractor under contracting conditions. Reason being, you are paid, contractors paid, you are paid for this work. It's like that you go to market and buy some item, pay some money, and if that item you see is defective, you have every right to return that or claim on that. Here same thing, contractor is like a shopkeeper, it's like a mall manager or organization. He's selling something in that manufacturing site, and every site is a manufacturing unit for contractors. So quantity wise, quality wise, design wise, it is a responsibility of contractor. So do not go to word contractor, try to understand what is contract and how it is done. That is very specific explanation, and you will find that on contracts, even if there is approval document of material, approval document of design, or approval document of something else, or even approval of inspections, on all documents it's generally mentioned that this approval shall not relieve contractor of its responsibilities. This means whatever engineer RE or engineer gives or other body give, all those are only for purpose of process, not for purpose of acceptance. It is responsibility of contractor at end that absolute responsibilities goes to him or is owned by contractors. You have to be clear about this. If you just argue, oh, this engineer approved and this approved and owner approved, why you say now that this is wrong? This argument does not stand, because they approved for purpose of process and not purpose of liability. That is the difference. Do you understand that or don't understand? I am guessing approval by engineer or by someone else of contractor works does not mean owning responsibility. That is procedural approval only Actual approval, ultimate approval, and ultimate responsibility has to be shared by contractor, because contractor is charging for that product. Money is paid to contractor for that product, and it is product of manufactured or done by contractor. So contractor is liable for that. Otherwise, if engineer or owner has to take liability, what is the necessity of doing work through contractor employment? That is where it lies. Now let's go little to honor. What honor says, what honor thinks, that's what we have to understand. What honor says. Let me reply to this gentleman better. I think it's just to be, what's that? Let's see, what's that? I don't know where to write something wrong here, This oh, no. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It took off. I had to do that. I'll reply later on, don't worry. I'll reply later on. It's okay. Now, what I say. Good morning, sir. Namaskar. Good morning, Chaudhary. Good luck. He's writing very good. Thank you, I should say. Otherwise, I'll mind, Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I should say thank you very much, right? It's all right. Okay. Well, I was saying about responsibility, and I'm here to make sure that contractor has to work in a way, and what owner has to do. Owner whose first party or user shall be liable for making all payments. Very important point. Owner or user, which is called first party or named first party on construction contracts, is liable, shall be liable for making all payments for approved valuations of contractors' works in a reasonable time. We can say 30 days or whatever defined time. It could be up to 90 days. Depends. I cannot say reasonable time should be defined, or you should say in this period shall be paid. You are not doing any obligation on contractor. Contractor works for you and you have to pay. Owner shall be liable for making all payments for extras as approved and variation orders issued by engineer and forms part of valuations. Owner shall be liable to grant extension of time to contract completion duration which has been recommended by engineer based on contractor's claims. Owner shall be liable to face arbitration in case of disputes remaining unresolved between owner and contractor, and be liable to make payments as awarded by tribunal. Now, what engineers say? Engineer shall be liable to arrange for complete supervision of job, administer contract, provide all informations requested and required by contractor till work is completed. Engineer shall be liable for presenting completed contracts to employer, first party, according to specific conditions of contract or letter of explanation, and all liabilities per management contract existing between owner and engineer. Engineer shall be sole responsible for design part of job. There are so many points in this we'll discuss later. So many, for example, responsibilities. There's then powers, what powers they should have, and then there are so many additional notings in this book. Though this is old one, but information is available, and this shall be taken care of sooner or later. And then there is certain contents of further, you may say, contracts. So we are doing FIDIC study. So FIDIC nowadays is operational, and we have to take our we have to refer to that for modern working of that one. So we have to be very very careful about that. We have to know what we have to do, we are not to do. So what I can say, my purpose in this is that we should get more input. We should get more input of practical aspect of contracts. Practical aspect means no imagination. Life is not based on imagination all time. The imagination is very very important for building something, but life is not all that. When we say we are managing or we are organizing something, it's a real one. As usually I say, we are talking engineering, or we are talking concrete, or we are talking organization, or we are talking whatever problems or planning, means quality. Whatever we talk, that should be practical, that should be observatory. We cannot simply go to books all time, because no books can be perfect. Books written by those, it's not necessary those people are field experienced. There are so many people who who read 4 or 5 books and produce a 5th one. I think those books are only for students, not for virtual or physical work. Physical work is far away from books. Physical activities are far away from books. If you want to learn physical work, you have to either refer to those who have experience on works, or you have to work on site where quality is understood. Just working on site is also not adequate. I don't think that's right. Just working on site without having any understanding of quality system or quality organization or quality controls, this means you are not aware of what should be done rightly. You are not aware of what is contract requirement, but you are working just for sake of working. That cannot be called professional working. When you work professionally, you have to work in keeping in view all contract requirements from all contract documents, so that you know what is done or what is not done, that is right or not right. It's not your satisfaction, it is your satisfaction, it is engineer's satisfaction, it is contractor's satisfaction in relation to contract documents provisions. I cannot simply say I have done this, it's right. No. Whatever I do, it should be in consonance with what is given, or in compliance with, or conformance with what is indicated or what is included on contract documents. And we also know, you should also know what are contract documents. Only then you can classify them. Otherwise you are take some document writing, and somebody just writes without any body of that one, and you can say this document is not right, this work is not right. So we can say practical approach to engineering problem is much more important. Contracting is engineering, design is engineering, quantity is engineering, quality engineering, planning is engineering. Every subject, every discipline, sub-discipline constitutes engineering. So all are responsible indeed, all are responsible, but ultimately when cost question comes, sufferers are those who had been honest. Of course they might have committed confusion or or this we call it something, process. If you want to really learn, real work, first responsibility of your being a responsible engineer is to understand contract documents. Contract documents, after all, what are contract documents? A question can come in. Contract document, what do you mean by contract document? Then there will be a question, what do you mean by bid document? Right? And if you don't understand them, I think, if you don't understand them, contract document or bid document, then neither you are knowledgeable about bid nor you are knowledgeable about contracts. If you are a bidder, which you can be, if you have that capacity, first you have to be bidder and only then you can become a contractor. Bidding, or you can say contract, say base of contracting, you can say. If you are a successful bidder, you shall become a contractor. So we are talking of a system of contract that involves fixed price contract, and that is lump sum fixed price. It can be different fixed price also, that is item fixed price, that can be there. But we are not talking of item fixed price alone, we are talking of contract lump sum fixed price. All activities, whatever you do on that contract, they are summed up to one amount, that is called lump sum amount, for scope of project included within that package of documents or document. If you are going to bid, what you should know, what you should demand, you have to think. If you are going to bid, when you go to bid, shall you get some notification about this bid is open, and if you want to get these documents, you can get these documents for so much fund, for so much money. It depends. Means I cannot say. It's up to organization how they manage bids. But if you are there in short list, you can get that documents of bid. Don't run away when you see these documents, particularly building documents. Please don't run away, because these are many volumes of quite thick books, means file size, or you can say A4 size big books could be, and that shall make you until also. When you see that volume, thick volume, many volumes, sometimes 3 volume, 4 volume, maybe 5 volume, and bundle of drawings, don't run away. Oh, how much work has come to me? No, don't worry. This is not much work. Only documents are many. If you know them very well, if you have experience, you will not run away. If you don't have experience, you shall run away. How can I take the credit? I cannot read these documents. 2 years, you will say that. That's what I'm saying. You have to understand what is bidding. Out of these documents, some documents at that time have got no meaning. First, you have to understand what is that bid. That's important. Even drawings you cannot see directly unless you understand what is scope of scope of project. That is scope of project. So here what I say, that point is very important in this. That point of document, it's very important, and we can say that not only important, that is you can say indispensable. You have to read build from understanding viewpoint. You have to understand what we are going to do. You have to understand scope of work, scope of contract. There must be some list in that document which gives you list of drawings and list of documents. You have to verify whatever documents you got, are they same or there's some deficiency, or you have to study first. That part is very important. If you are unable to study, this means you do not even know which documents you have. They are plenty, or some are missed, you didn't bring, or you need more. If you have capacity to do it very fast, in one day say, do it very fast. And if you don't have capacity, you cannot do. Point here is 6:59. Point here is, how much time shall you take to understand those documents? I think maybe first time you may be nervous, but if you have some experience, somebody will teach you these are documents, you take care like this if you are no experienced. But after that, once you know drawings are not major problem until you coordinate them, scope is clear or not clear, drawings are same as given in list and documents are same, and you understand what you have to do and what is quantum of work is included in this and what's time left for closing of this bid. Of course, you can send these people to our home. That is where you have to screen out yourself, and you have to spend some time, 2 days, 3 days, fine. Once you have an understanding of those documents, means level of drawings, what about specifications, what about conditions of contract, and what about, you can say, scope of work, you have a complete vision in that case. Yes. Now, when you have gone through all documents, you have grasp of this. You must have some BOQ provided by that company or owner. And if you don't have BOQ, you have to prepare a BOQ. So simple. No, you can have assessment of total drawings and have a vision on this. And if you can say, you can think that now you are perfect to handle that, then you have to start your work. You can once again go through this and find problems for yourself or for other parties who will work in your place for electrical, mechanical. If companies say, no, we don't want this. Alright, now you go mother, you can say you got some idea on those documents. You have to study all documents one by one, of course very fast because you don't have much time. You may have extension, that is different, but now you have to complete that, and you have many activities left in between those, because you are not alone in that. Maybe you are handling only your civil materials, there will be electromechanical and other services people interested in that. Means those may be stakeholders in contracting, you have to share with them. So formula was, you have to understand all documents. Some are there, some are there. Quantification after you study drawings are very important, because your bid depends on quantification. If quantification is erroneous, whole of your bid shall be erroneous. You may lose something, you may not compete. So it is very important that you are given right quantity, and if you don't have right quantity, you are not provided BOQ, you have to make your own BOQ, and it's time consuming. It's not necessary that you are have one BOQ only in this work. You have two, three, you can tell. Well, it's up to you. What you think is right. If you are expert in quantification, or you have to take help of others, you are project manager or coordinator, and you have to take help of other people also for services and others quotations if they are a specific item. You have to maintain yourself. It's time consuming job because rates of material, some people indirectly. Now, well, quantification is very cumbersome job, very cumbersome. Not one item, not two item. According to scope, there will be hundreds items, and you have to work out from drawings, from connection, and during that study, you will find many errors also, coordination errors that must be corrected, and you have no right to correct them. You have to raise query to those authorities, those people who issued you these, and they will only clarify what's right or what's wrong, and it is a part of process. But when such queries is there, of course extension of time is considered. But I'm saying your quantification is important, and you are going to issue invitations to various subcontractors, possible subcontractors, or those who are interested in services of business of this buildings. So we have to be very clear in this way. We have to be very clear here what we are going to do. If you are not clear, means you do not proceed yourself further. You have to proceed with taking yourself into a responsible, mature person. No relaxation on anybody unless it's right. No quantification gives you a lot, because you may also have to invite quotations for your own sale items, for expensive materials, or for tiling, or for civil finishes, or for something, whereas your counterparts electromechanical tender people would be working elsewhere in other companies or in your own company if you have that, and they will be inviting quotations and getting all information to you, whereas you will be inclined to those, you will be dependent on those who come to you for help. Life is like that. Civil engineering, contracting life is very difficult, and here you have to consider yourself as one of contractor's tool, and your job is not easy, because one mistake can make you a problematic person. One error can cause a problematic person. One entry can cause a problem to you. There can be wrong quantity, or there can be deficient quantity, or there can be over quantity. Both are wrong. Over quantity will throw you out of competition, and under quantity will put you in problem that your quantity is less than actual one. In both positions, you are gone, but they don't know. Okay. We'll talk of, I think, this later on because everything cannot be talked in one go. It's tendering business and it's not as easy as you think. You have to keep only quantification is one part. I'm telling you, there are many other parts. You have to go through specifications and you have to go through codes if there's something like that, or you have to go through. You have to find all specifications and some of the parts. It's very cumbersome, very, you can say, hard work, or you may say smart work, whatever you can say. It depends on you how far you can move on that one. So 7:15, and I think I have a little change here. I hope we'll see again. It's already 3 hours 30 minutes, and I have to. I think we should, right? No? Yes. Better we take care of, and I think we should move further for something now. It's already 7:14, and we should now pack up. I think we should pack up. What is this? All right. So I hope you will take care of quantities, and I'll take care of this now. And thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll see again if possible. Everything is okay. Fine. Thank you.